And welcome to the Jay Clarke Show with me, your host, Jay Clarke. Hey, look at all the lovely people here in the studio today. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad each and every one of you is here today, including all of our radio and TV audience. I'm basing the first segment of this show on an interesting email I received from one of our listeners. This is one of the more peculiar and somewhat unimaginable stories we've ever covered. Picture this. You're a homeowner who's gotten your mail delivered for over 40 years. And while mail carriers have come and gone, there's never been an incident that has ever delayed your mail service. Well, recently, one elderly Midwest suburban couple, their mail service abruptly stopped altogether one day. And when they inquired, the postmaster of the town was actually kind enough to pay Betty and Larry Stone a home visit to explain why this had happened. The reason the postal supervisor came up with is almost unbelievable. She claims her employee was chased by a sick, aging, domesticated house cat and was in fear for his life. And here is a picture of the cat. Her name is Yoga. Now, keep in mind, this is a grown man that weighs in at more than 200 pounds and stands over 6 feet tall. And what's more, Yoga, the kitty cat, allegedly chased said mailman for over one city block. Yeah. We have verified the story, and at least the part that the post office took action against the Stone family and stopped their mail. I've asked for a statement from the post office, locally and statewide. Neither ever replied, so I went through the phone book and started calling some of the neighbors, asking if a super cat with a piss-poor attitude was terrorizing men in uniform. For the nice folks that didn't hang up on me, nobody had anything bad to say about Yoga. Yet they surely had a lot to say about the postman and the postmaster as well. Today, the young man who sent me that email has agreed to appear on the show, and he joins us via satellite from our Midwest affiliate. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a nice warm welcome to Mr. Jack Wilson.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Jack, let's talk about this. What is going on?
Well, it's actually going on in my neighborhood, Jay, and we've had a number of incidents in the past years with the post office, but the most recent incident was with the Stone family. In this particular case, a mail carrier was delivering mail to the Stone family house, and they usually receive their mail on the porch for years and years, like everyone in the neighborhood. And the mail stopped coming. They failed to deliver the mail. And when my neighbors, the Stones, went to find out what was going on, the post office claimed that Yoga had pursued and tried to kill the mail carrier.
Well, that's very interesting. Now, is this like a mountain lion or a cougar or maybe a bobcat that they've taken in as a pet?
I would describe Yoga more as animation model for Garfield. Sort of this rather
it's a domestic
rotund cat.
So it's a house cat.
It's a very much a domesticated house cat, perhaps a little bit too domesticated, a little overweight, with some medical issues and kind of going blind. So not the cat that I'm used to seeing around the neighborhood, that's for sure.
So Yoga has a bit of a weight problem. How big is the cat? How many pounds do you think? Maybe 20?
13 maybe. 20 at most. It's approximately the same size and shape as a butterball turkey.
Okay. That sounds very delicious. How big is this mailman? And what about his weight?
Over 6 feet. He looks like the type of fellow that would have played football in high school. Maybe even college. He's a big guy.
He has some healthy girth about him.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so here we have between 200 and 230, maybe 250-pound man, and a cat that weighs less than 20 pounds. Now, this is the story being told, is that the postmaster suspended mail to a family in the Midwest because a 200-plus pound man was terrified by a 20-pound or less domesticated house cat that is ailing and is aged. Is this what I'm to understand?
That seems to be the story going around the neighborhood, yes.
Okay. I would like to visit that neighborhood sometime in case life gets kind of boring. But on a more serious note...
If it really happened, it's got to be a sight to see.
Well, yeah, and we have some video of yoga right now. This is the cat that has terrorized the postman. Okay, well, that was a lot of fun. Thank you very much to the young people that put that together for us. We appreciate that. So, Mr. Wilson, obviously, from what we've seen and authenticated, this is really ridiculous. Now, for our listening and viewing audience, you can go to the campaign, and they have a crowdfund set up, and we'll explain very quickly why this crowdfund has been set up. There's come legal issues and some deep out-of-pocket expenses that the Stone family, that again are pensioners, they're retired, they're elderly people, they don't have a lot of money, and they're supposed to be enjoying their reclining years and not having to deal with bull from the post office. If you can, it'd be great to throw some money into the crowdfund they've got set up. You can find the video, you can find the campaign very simply by going to the hashtag Deliver4Yoga. That's the number 4, Deliver4Yoga. That's the hashtag, and that you can find that all over the internet, and it's spreading like wildfire. Jack, that's the badass cat, huh?
Yeah, so dreadfully terrifying.
I'm sure. Good video, by the way. And we were kind of joking about this, but this has turned into a bit of a serious issue. The Stones have reached out to legal counsel, and they have not quite retained legal counsel. We're going to talk in a moment about a crowdfund that's going on. So they've reached out to a lawyer, and the lawyer is saying that they need to retain him because things could get real dicey with the post office. And
yeah, the postmaster finally did deliver the mail, but threatened to shoot down the first cat she saw with pepper spray. Said just the weirdest things, like that everyone knows grown men get slain by house cats all the time.
Probably in a what do you call that?
Twilight Zone?
You know, the parallel universe. The Twilight Zone, right. That's where she lives. Yeah. But again, you know, these are older people that they don't need this harassment or anything like that. And so you said the mail was delivered in boxes on the houses, right? Or on their front porch this has been going on for, I think, over 50 years. So now all of a sudden this Yahoo from the post office comes along and freaks out, or whatever the situation is, and he causes this ruckus that now there was a mailbox that was put up that is away from the house. And can you explain why that was done?
It's at the bottom of the driveway in order to prevent the postal worker from entering the property, which is kind of at a tall hill, and they actually had to drill into the bedrock to put this mailbox there.
Drilling into bedrock, and I don't know anything about excavating, but that becomes an excavating job, and that sounds to me like a lot of money just for a mailbox.
I imagine it probably was, yeah.
This mailbox installation, because of all of the work that had to be done, was $500. Now, I probably could get my son to put up a mailbox if he didn't charge me for the labor. Let's say if he did, I could probably get that done for like right around $100. So $500. Now, there's also another expense that the Stones have to incur, is a video camera, a very good video camera, one that's going to monitor their front porch or maybe even the mailbox. So they're having to do all of this work and spend all this money, and they don't have this money. They're retired. So this whole thing's turned into a real big mess. So tell us about the camera and all of the changes they've had to make now because of the Postman.
My understanding is that it's one of those high-end security cameras that's motion activated, so that anytime someone approaches the driveway or the front porch, the camera will activate. And that way, if the postmaster comes back and says, yes, we're going to euthanize your cat, they have videographic evidence to say, my cat did nothing to your mailman.
I have a lot of listeners that are animal lovers. They have pets, and especially my cat owners out there. I want you to make sure that you heard exactly what Mr. Wilson just said. The postmaster of this small town in the Midwest came to the Stones' house and threatened to pepper spray the cat. Now, veterinarians tell us that pepper spray would kill a cat, instantly. So, and also the real threat of these people losing their pet to euthanasia by a possible court order or an order from the local police department. That's a small town politics. So for my cat owners and my pet lovers out there, this is what's going on. This is what this crowdfund is being put together for. It is because the Stones do not want anything to happen to Yoga, and they don't want anything to happen to them. You're helping the Stones put together a crowdfund. Do you have the information on that so my listeners can contribute and help?
It's Deliver for Yoga. The majority of it is for a lawyer's retainer. The lawyer and the Stone family do not believe this fight is over, and neither do a good majority of the people in the neighborhood. We also are looking to get them money for a security camera that's motion activated to help them pay for the costs of the mailbox installation, and then to cover any vet bills that Yoga might have to deal with as a result of the future altercations or future medical problems that might arise. That it's entirely absurd, and the Stones are good people, and their cat is a wonderful cat that very rarely gets out of the house, let alone could even chase someone for a city block. So something just seems off.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the entire story about Yoga versus the Postman. I'd like to thank Jack Wilson for joining us via satellite. And for my listeners and viewers, and for the folks out here in the audience, you might want to jot this down. # Deliver for Yoga. That's Deliver, the number 4, Yoga. And more of the Jay Clarke Show after these messages. Stay tuned.